So I want to talk about Kobe Bryant and the family feud over his money. I just want to say that I'm not a fan of Kobe Bryant. I wasn't a fan of Kobe Bryant. I'm not a basketball fan, but I wanted to talk about this because it's very sad what's happening here, and the whole thing is very sad and tragic. Because I remember last year, and I can't believe a year has gone by already. For some reason, I was watching a live with Molly Golightly, who I'm not even a fan of either. And for some reason, I was watching a live with her, and she was going, "Oh my God, Kobe Bryant! Oh my God!" And I was thinking to myself, what's going on here? And she was talking about how there's reports that Kobe Bryant has died in a helicopter crash. And I really didn't believe it. And actually, because I was watching her and listening to her, I was one of the first people who found out about his death. And I found out about it and other people who were watching her live long before it was actually reported on mainstream news. And I just thought, this can't be right. And somebody said, "Oh, he's just tweeted a few minutes ago. He's not dead. It's all rubbish. It's all nonsense." And I kept on checking to see if what she was saying was the truth. And eventually, about an hour and a half later, all the mainstream news channels were reporting that Kobe Bryant had died in this horrific helicopter crash, and that his daughter was on the plane, and other people, not on the plane, the helicopter, that his daughter was on the helicopter and other people were on the helicopter. And I just thought, even though I'm not a fan and I'm not a basketball fan, I just thought it was just one of the saddest things I've ever heard. And I was thinking, oh my God, how is Vanessa going to feel? You know, his wife, Vanessa, she's at home with her other children, probably, and she's going to hear about this on the news. I couldn't imagine myself being in that situation. It just seemed so horrific to me. And, over the years, I've always heard that she was a gold digger, and you're always going to get that gold digger label when you're married to somebody that makes a lot of money and you don't seem to have a career of your own. She's just one of the many that people have labeled, gold digger. And I thought, gold digger or not, it cannot be a nice thing to hear on the news that your husband and your daughter have both been killed at the same time. And I said, it's affected me this entire year. That and COVID, it was almost like a sign of what was to come. And, months later, now we're hearing about this feud between her and her mother, Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's widow, and her mother. And, this fight over money. And to me, I'm estranged from my mother. I don't speak to my mother anymore because of lots of things. And maybe I'll talk about this in an upcoming podcast. To me, this seems to be very narcissistic behavior. I mean, for goodness sakes, can't they come to some kind of agreement? I mean, Vanessa's got more than enough money to give to her mother. And people have said, she's got millions. Why doesn't she just give her mother some money and, get her mother to leave her alone? And I understand that viewpoint. But Vanessa says her mother has not been very supportive since her husband and her daughter died. And she probably feels that, why should she give her mother money? She and Kobe have apparently been supporting her mother all this time. And her mother said that Kobe Bryant promised to take care of her for the rest of his life. Obviously, he's deceased now. And when people die, sometimes, the rats come out and, you get all this horror. I mean, you get this horror show. I mean, this family should not be feuding. I mean, the mother is supposed to be supporting her daughter and helping her daughter through a terribly difficult time. Even though Vanessa has a lot of money, it's not easy to lose two people that you love at once. And there should not be this fight over money. And I just think to myself, was it always about money? Scott Reich says it's always about the money. Was it always about the money in the first place? Was Kobe Bryant just a ATM for these people? And I don't want to say that because I have a lot of compassion for Vanessa Bryant. I cannot imagine her loss. I mean, I cannot imagine hearing that your daughter and your husband have been killed at the same time. And then to see pictures of the crash site splashed all over the newspapers splashed all over the headlines. I cannot imagine. I can't even put myself in that situation. It must just be the most horrific thing to hear, and for it to be all splashed out all over the news. But to be feuding over money when such a terrible tragedy has happened, to me, it's just unfathomable that a mother and daughter that I presumed were close, because Mexican families are Mexican and Mexican people are supposed to be really family orientated and really close. I just can't, I don't understand why there's this feud over money. There doesn't need to be. There's plenty of money to go around. What is it all about, really? Was it just always about the money? Is it always about the bottom line with these people? And like I said, I don't speak to my mother anymore. I'm estranged from her for many reasons. And it seems like, I'm not the only problem. I'm not the only one who has had, problems within the family, particularly when it comes to do with money. Money seems to be a point of contention in so many families and in so many different situations. And, it seems like this is what I'm hearing, that this year, or, when the year starts, from when the year starts, that there's a lawsuit being filed by Vanessa's mother against her for $5 million. And to me, that's just very, very sad that it's come to this. Very, very sad. And, is it that her mother is just a narcissistic woman who feels entitled to get her hands on that money? Or is it that Vanessa is a narcissistic daughter who has more than enough money to give to her mother, and she's refusing to do so because she feels entitled to all of it? I mean, and where does Kobe's parents and family fit into all of this? I mean, aren't they entitled to some money as well? I mean, they are his family after all. So it'll be interesting to hear what your thoughts are. Tell me what your thoughts are on this matter. I wanted to do something different from the Watts case, take a break from it. There's still a lot of stuff going on with that case, although it is a closed case, but there's still a lot of controversy and a lot of falsehood and lies being spread about the Watts case, and I will deal with that. I will be talking about that in another podcast. But I mean, to me, this is a very, very sad and unfortunate situation that doesn't need to be happening. I mean, mother and daughter should be comforting each other at this very difficult time. I mean, it's only a year, even though the year has gone very, very fast. It's only a year since this has been, this has happened. This tragedy has happened. And, mother should be comforting daughter, and daughter should be comforting mother. I mean, they should be fighting, if anything, fighting over, how they're feeling. I mean, there should be no fight over money. And is money the root of all evil? Was money all that this was about in the first place? Was Vanessa just a gold digger? Was her mother just a gold digger? It would be interesting to hear your thoughts.